Welcome Inside the Lines. I am Greg Sussman. He is Frank Stanfield. Tonight, the Knicks are in the Garden taking on the defending champion Toronto Raptors. According to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the Knicks are an 8-point underdog tonight with the total sitting at 217.5. The Raptors, they're hot. They've won 5 games in a row, and they've covered in 4 of those contests. The Knicks, they're also playing well. They've covered in 3 consecutive games. And once again, Frank, it's thanks to the defense.
Yeah, they limited the Lakers to just 43.9% shooting in their last game. The Knicks covered that game as well against the Los Angeles Lakers. They held the Lakers to 4.5% below their season's average of 48.4% shooting. The Knicks defense has showed up for 3 straight games. They're going to need that tonight, going up against the Toronto Raptors, who are on a 5-game winning streak. They're 4-1 against the spread during that stretch, and they're just on an offensive onslaught right now. They're averaging 124.2 points per game during this 5-game winning streak, Greg. So the Knicks are really going to have to bring that defense against tonight.
The Raptors are also good defensively. They're second in the NBA in opponents' shooting percentage. That sits at 42.6%. But the Raptors, they've been led by their All-Star. He's starting the All-Star game. That's Pascal Siakam. He's been fantastic all season long, career highs across the board. But the guy you're focusing on isn't an All-Star, but he's been really good.
It's been Norman Powell for the Toronto Raptors. Normally, when everyone's healthy for this team, you think about Siakam, you think about Kyle Lowry. But Norman Powell, Greg, since he has returned from injury his last 6 games, he's averaging 22.7 points per game, 58.5% shooting from the field, and 48.7% from 3. So, normally you focus in on the big names for the Toronto Raptors, but don't fall asleep on Norman Powell tonight.
All right, tonight, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers, they take their talents to South Beach. We'll tell you all about it when we come back here on Inside the Lines.
They say less is more, but we believe more is more. That's why we built FanDuel Sportsbook with more ways to bet, more ways to fund your account, more ways to cash in, and more ways to cash out, with payouts delivered straight to your bank account in as little as 48 hours. You want more? You got it. Join today and get a risk-free bet worth up to $500. FanDuel Sportsbook. More ways to win.
Back Inside the Lines, Greg Sussman and Frank Stanfield. Tonight, the Heat are taking on the Clippers. And this is another weird one, Frank, because the Heat are a 2.5-point underdog according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. The total sits at 221. Paul George is not expected to play for the Clippers. Kawhi will be out there for L.A. Jimmy Butler's status still to be determined. But a home underdog for the best team in the NBA against the spread at home. 2-0 in the only 2 games against the spread that they've been underdogs at home. This one's weird, and yet you still don't like a side.
I'm staying away from the side for all the reasons that you mentioned. There's a lot of injuries with this game right now. I'm going to look at the total in this game, which is 221. I like this game to go over, Greg. The Miami Heat are 7-2 to the over in their last 9 games, and during this stretch, they are 3rd in offensive efficiency. They're averaging 117 points per game on offense. They're allowing 113 points per game on defense during this stretch. So their offense is up. Their defense has not been playing to the level as it was earlier on in the season. On top of all that, the Heat are 14-7 to the over at home this season. Give me the over 221 points between the Heat and the Clippers.
Heat have gone over in 7 of their last 10 games. All right, finally here, Zion Williamson's second game at home, taking on the Denver Nuggets. Pelicans are a 4-point favorite. The total sits at 229.5. Everybody loves Zion, but they forget the Pelicans lost to the Spurs. They didn't cover against the Spurs. The Nuggets are better than the Spurs. The Nuggets are covering tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the side in this game as well. I got a prop coming up in a little bit, but Zion Williamson wowed the crowd in his first game. He went through a 3-minute stretch where he scored 17 points. He hit 4 threes. I didn't know that Zion had that in his arsenal. I'm staying away from the side because both of these teams are playing well. They're both 6-4 straight up over their last 10 games. I'm going to look at Lonzo Ball, over 6.5 assists in the month of January, Greg. He's averaging 9.1 assists per game. He's playing 37 minutes per game. Give me over 6.5 assists. You're getting that right now at -138 over at the FanDuel Sportsbook.
No guts, no glory there, Frank. Let's move on to our dollar long shot bet. For me, I look at Sacramento. They're in Chicago. Chicago has nobody big playing for them. No Larry Markkinen, no Wendell Carter. Dwayne Dedmon starting at center tonight for the Kings. He's going to have 10-plus rebounds, and the Kings are going to win. You get that at +420, Frankie.
I'm going over to the Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton has scored 25-plus points, and the Suns win against the San Antonio Spurs. You are getting that at +1260. Ayton has scored 25 or more points in 3 of his last 4 games.
All right, the Knicks and the Raptors are coming up in a bit. Knicks game night is next. Enjoy the game, everybody.